Bill, I'm going to start with you. General question for everybody, have you answer it first, but the question is just, why air pollution? Why did you get into this thing in the first place?
Is this mic on?
It is.
You know the answer to that because I've told you the story, and the story is much too long to tell at this luncheon, but it was an involvement that I had. Should I give a brief?
Yeah.
In 1972, my wife was serving in Congress and I was home alone at my office in Los Angeles. Got a call from Howard Bingham, who is Muhammad Ali's best friend, and he asked me if I wanted to go on a road trip. And I said, sure. So I said, where? He said, we're going to Hartford, Connecticut. I said, why? He said, there's a kid in the hospital in Hartford, and Muhammad Ali's mother called him and told him that he should go visit this kid. So I said, how does Muhammad Ali's mother know a kid in Hartford, Connecticut? And he said, she doesn't. Her best friend lives in Hartford, Connecticut. She read in the newspaper that this 7-year-old child is in the hospital, has got cancer, and his favorite athlete is Muhammad Ali, and he would really like to meet him. So she called Muhammad, told Muhammad he should go, and Muhammad wants you and I to go with him. So we went. And we got to Hartford, Connecticut, and we went to the hospital. And when we went into the room, there was this little kid laying in his hospital bed who looked like he weighed about 90 pounds. He had very bright, shiny blue eyes, and when Ali walked in, it looked like he had just seen Santa Claus. He was so thrilled that the champ would come and see him. And so Ali went into 5 minutes of his shtick that he does for everybody. I'm so bad I make medicine sick. I'm so fast. When I turn out the light, I'm in the bed before the room gets dark, And the kid is laughing and having a good time. And quite frankly, Bingham and I are having a good time too. So Ali tells this kid, he says, I'm leaving on Thursday and I'm going to Zaire, West Africa. And I'm going to train to fight George Foreman. He said, and nobody believes that I can beat George Foreman. He said, you see these two guys here? These are my friends. They don't think I can beat Foreman. He said, and I'll make you a deal. If I beat George Foreman, you gotta beat cancer. So the kid agreed, and I left with Bingham, and we went back to Los Angeles, and Ali left for Zaire, West Africa, and he was training for 3 weeks, and George Foreman got a cut while he was training, so the fight was postponed for a month. 8th round of George Foreman versus Ali. Ali knocks out Foreman. At 7 a.m. the next morning, Ali gets up, gets Bingham, catches a plane from Zaire, West Africa, to go to Belgium to New York City. And he got into New York City at 10 o'clock at night. And I know that because Yvonne and I were in Washington, D.C., at our house there, and he called and he said, be ready tomorrow morning. I'm taking you to see the kid. So at 11 o'clock the next morning, Ali shows up. He's got the heavyweight championship belt with him. We get on a plane, we fly to Hartford, Connecticut. We go to the hospital, and the kid's in the same room. But the second I walked in to that room, I knew I didn't want to be there, because the kid now weighs about 70 pounds, and the bright blue eyes are now very dull. So Ali takes the heavyweight championship belt, lays it on the bed, and he said, I did my part. He said, I did my part. I beat George Foreman. Now you got to do your part, and you got to beat cancer. And the kid looks at Ali and he says, no, I'm going to die. And Ali says, you're going to die? He said, yeah, I'm going to die. He said, and do you know what I'm going to tell God when I meet him? So now the heavyweight champion of the world and his two best friends are standing there, everybody's crying. And Ali says, no, what are you going to tell God? He said, I'm going to tell God you were my friend. In my life, there is no more moment that was more riveting to me than that moment. The kid died 2 weeks later. It's now 50 years later. I still think about that kid just about every day. So when it's 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting up, getting ready to drive to Diamond Bar, and Yvonne's laying there cutting some logs. There's no question of why I do it. Because that kid still lives in my mind. And I'm still fighting for kids just like him to have a life that they can live and not experience that. So that's why I do it.